I know that this is gonna seem crazy and unbelievable, but I can guarantee you that everything you're about to see is true. Yes, someone stole crypto. Unbelievable.
In 2016, a large amount of Bitcoin was stolen from an exchange. The event was considered as one of the biggest mysteries in crypto, but
The only mystery in crypto is that some people still think that crypto is a good idea. And as much as I know, millions of dollars in crypto get stolen pretty much weekly at this point. Not a week goes by when you don't hear about millions being stolen in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or some other form of crypto. It's absolutely insane at this point.
who stole the money and where were they? Some answers would come in February of 2022 when a New York based form of
She she looks like problems. She looks like problems. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Forbes contributor turned amateur rapper, as seen here,
Amateur rapper. I told you she's gonna be problems.
and her husband were just arrested and charged with stealing $4.6 billion in Bitcoin.
This morning,
That's a lot of money. But as always with crypto, the question is, can you actually get it out? Stealing crypto is easy because the average crypto enthusiast kind of has subpar IQ. So duping them and phishing them with a Discord link is not exactly easy. Scientists have made studies that show that 9 out of 10 people who are enthusiastic about crypto instantaneously click on any link that says free crypto here. So, it's not exactly a complicated game.
the Justice Department announcing the largest single seizure of funds in the department's history.
Oh, and this is absolutely the irony. Because the crypto people are all the ones who say, down with centralized government, down with banking, banking is evil. These people just invest in banks that are literally designed to be crypto and less safe than real banks, and then they lose all their money and they're mad. And who do they try to call? The Justice Department, the police. The institutions that they claim are bad and that crypto will fix. The amount of hypocrisy in the crypto sphere is absolutely, well, delicious.
Recovering billions of dollars and missing Bitcoin.
This story has everything, right? You have a big hack, you have a big theft, you have a very colorful couple at the center of all of this.
This is a bizarre story, so sit
Jesus.
back, relax, and enjoy as we take a ride through the blockchain to chase down a married couple's attempt at a multi-billion-dollar heist.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Great channel.
The story starts with the place that the Bitcoin was stolen from, Bitfinex. Since its founding in 2012, the Bitfinex exchange has had a shady history. From hacks to
Crypto in a shady history? Well, color me surprised. I would never expected that.
covering up losses, being unable to find banks, and fines by the CFTC were all
Yeah, these exchanges in a lot of cases literally never cover losses. Like if you lose 1 million, they may give you like I don't know like Shiba coin that's worth like I don't know 5 pence and say, well, good luck there, buddy. This is all you can get. It's insane. And by the way, even stock brokerage applications like Robinhood, I also have heard this and seen it. If Robinhood fucks up and you lose like I don't know 10,000, they will give you like something that's worth 500 and say, well, good luck, it happens.
par for the course. But the biggest disaster happened in 2016 when their Hong Kong exchange
Bitcoin worth 72 million stolen from Bitfinex exchange in Hong Kong.
was hacked. Almost 120,000 Bitcoin was stolen directly from users' wallets. It was pandemonium. Withdrawals were halted and trading was stopped.
Yeah, this is exactly what they instantaneously do. The moment these companies that go into Bitcoin or any type of crypto and become, a non-centralized bank that's better than other banks and has infinity growth opportunities or whatever they want to shield themselves out for, the moment something hits the fan, they instantaneously just lock up all your money. It's hilarious. Like the newest thing, the Celsius network, or what was it called? The bank that's not a bank, but it's better than a bank because it's not a bank, but it has no protections of banks. People literally lost all their money. That place literally made people lose hundreds of millions in total. Maybe even in the billions. It's insane. The moment they go under in crypto, your money is absolutely cooked.
Once the news of the hack spread, Bitcoin dropped by over 20%. To be clear, it wasn't the Bitcoin blockchain that was hacked, but just the Bitfinex.
Can you even hack the blockchain? That's a good question. Because if you can hack the blockchain, I have never heard this, but if there's a potential to hack the actual blockchain, I think crypto is just gonna set in well, it's already in flames technically, but it's gonna be more in flames, I guess. Then
Exchange where people traded Bitcoin. As a reaction to the hack, Bitfinex customers had their balance reduced by 36% and would receive tokens in proportion to their loss.
tokens that are worthless.
The crypto community was on the case. Everyone was curious as to who the hackers were, but it would take a number of years to finally track them down.
The good part about crypto is the fact that, yeah, tracking's actually like super easy. Someone's probably gonna create an algorithm or whatever that sooner or later that will, you just input like one wallet and it will instantaneously find every associated wallet, every big transaction, every multiple transactions, and, present it in an overviewable form. That's gonna happen sooner or later. And when it comes to stealing, though, that's the only good part about crypto, that it's really hard to steal from it, because the money is instantaneously visible where it's going and so on.
Details of exactly how the hack happened aren't 100% clear yet, even after all of these years, but one of the lead theories is something like this. The hack was possible because Bitfinex was using a third-party service called BitGo to secure its users' wallets. It was BitGo's servers that got hacked, and the hacker ordered the system to send all of the Bitcoin to an account of their choosing. For years after the hack, the crypto community had a hawk eye on the movements of the stolen coins through the blockchain. Everybody could see where the coins were going, but no.
Everyone just wants to feel like some kind of, MacGyver or someone really smart. Oh yeah, I can trace the Bitcoin, big brain.
Nobody knew who the owners of the coins were. Before long, these coins became banned and blacklisted from other crypto exchanges all over the blockchain. This meant that the hackers couldn't convert the Bitcoin into fiat currency. They needed another way.
So usually how this happens nowadays, as much as I have heard, it's not really hard to steal a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of Ethereum, or whatever cryptocurrency you want, because the average crypto enthusiast really is kind of fucking stupid. So they will get phished or something like that. You know, Seth Rogen, the guy who had to rebuy his NFT because he accidentally clicked on a phishing link. Yeah, stuff like that happens very, very often. The thing is, when someone hacks something that has a lot of money in it, usually that money is instantaneously frozen, and there's absolutely almost no way to get it out, except through a couple of places. But those places take an abysmally long time to do it. So, usually, what happens in these situations is that it's just a ransom situation. Someone needs to pay X amount of money, and then they get their Bitcoins or whatever got stolen back. That's how usually it happens nowadays.
25,000 coins out of the 120,000, or about 21% of them, were shuffled around in a complex laundering process. The coins were split into tiny pieces and exchanged for other cryptocurrencies and spread around. Bizarrely, some of the purchases included gift
Victim VFE wallet, blah blah blah, VFE4, VFE1. Okay, don't understand anything, but it looks complicated, so I guess it's true.
cards for Uber, Walmart, and PlayStation. Some of the laundered Bitcoin was even used to buy some gold and NFTs. It was all very
I like how he says,
curious.
so some of the Bitcoin was even used to buy gold and disgusting non-NFT, not non-NFT, but non-crypto things.
Some keen blockchain analysts think that other parts of the stolen Bitcoin were paid to a so-called cash-out service on the dark net. This is where a user would pay someone on the dark net with Bitcoin. The user would receive an equivalent amount of cash, minus a fee, that was put in a vacuum-sealed bag and left in a secret location.
Yeah, that's pretty much money laundering. By the way, both sides are actually kind of money laundering by doing that, so it's kind of funny, honestly.
The user would then be given the exact GPS coordinates as to where to pick it up.
Usually this is like drug money.
For the rest of the stolen Bitcoin, it just sat there for another 4.5.
Oh, and fun fact, by the way, about this. You see these pictures right here? These locations where they put the money like that, yeah, sure, they're kind of discreet and not visible, but most of the time that means that either this house right here, this place, is owned by a friend, or they can directly see it from the other side. You know, things like that. These places are literally never random.
The rest of the stolen Bitcoin, it just sat there for another 4.5 years due to all of the blacklisting. It was too risky to move. There were just too many eyes on it.
Also, a fun thing that I have thought about moving this Bitcoin and that being dangerous. What happens when some company just decides to say, YOLO 420, blaze it, we know that this Bitcoin is stolen, but we're in for a payday, so if we allow this Bitcoin to be used, what then? What honestly then?
That was until August of 2021.
Well, they would probably get well, they would probably get taken in by the cops because that would be abiding a felony or something like that. Because, you know, they knew that the funds were stolen and they willfully helped out the criminals. Yeah, okay, probably no one's gonna do that. But that would be funny. Again, I think that's something that could happen in the crypto world pretty easily.
When suddenly, $760 million moved from the original hacker's wallet to a new crypto wallet. It looked like the perpetrators had finally gotten tired of sitting on the coins and they wanted to make a run for it. They used a complicated method of transactions that split the coins up into many pieces, but eventually all of the coin movements landed them back into the same wallet.
Yeah, you see, like this, you can just easily track everything, so... what's the point? What is the literal point of doing this?
It was a very interesting development. The movements of funds
I honestly call it a very stupid development.
alerted the authorities, and the chase was on. With special tools like Elliptic, the complicated movement of coins was tracked. After an investigation, it was found that the crypto wallet belonged to 34-year-old startup founder, Ilya Lichtenstein. Lichtenstein and his wife, Heather Morgan, aged 31, allegedly conspired to launder the money according to the Department of Justice. Authorities managed to link the stolen coins to crypto exchange accounts owned under the couple's names.
Why use your real ID? I don't understand this. This is the thing. This is what happens every single time a lot of crypto is being stolen. It gets stolen by the most moronic people who literally will, use their real phone number, real IDs, and it's the equivalent of going into a store, like having having the clerk at gunpoint asking for all the money. He gives all the money, and then he says, "Also, give me a pack of cigarettes." The cashier says that will be $5, and then he just swipes his credit card to pay at gunpoint. It's the same level of absolute stupid insanity. Half of these situations get resolved because the people who stole the money were so stupid that they used their actual names on something that can be easily traced. Every single time.
So who were these two? Now this is where things get really interesting, ironic, and
God
just
help
downright
us.
bizarre. Lichtenstein was a Russian US national. He grew up in Chicago and attended the University of Wisconsin. According to those who knew him, he was described as quiet and observant, but he had a guarded wall around him. While
Jeez. Dude, this guy seems so disgustingly boring. Like, absolute, so boring.
Lichtenstein was the co-founder of a blockchain startup. Since the arrest, most of the focus has been on his wife, Heather Morgan.
Yeah, well, obviously.
And if you don't know about me, I'm a serial software entrepreneur who started multiple successful companies.
Okay, I know it's an entrepreneur, but what do you mean serial entrepreneur? How the hell does that even make sense? So, you start one thing, it becomes successful, or it doesn't become successful, and then you just jump to the next? Technically, if someone says serial entrepreneur or entrepreneur in general, if you're not a multi-millionaire, I'm kind of gonna doubt whatever you say next, because that's already a red flag.
One is a multi-million-dollar profitable one that I
Multi-million-dollar profitable one, and you need to steal Bitcoin.
started by myself when I was 23.
She's a former Forbes contributor who ironically wrote articles on how to protect your business against cyber criminals and talked with.
This is also pretty common, honestly. People who actually know how to protect against X sometimes use that knowledge to just commit that type of crimes. But then again, I'm honestly kind of hesitant to call anything where anyone with crypto got damaged or burned a crime.
Crypto exchange owners on how to prevent fraud. She even did a cybersecurity talk with BitGo, which was the very same third-party platform that failed to protect the Bitfinex wallets during the hack.
Ah, you see what I mean? These people just know the inside information and then they can abuse it. It's pretty goddamn simple, huh?
But that was only the start of the weirdness. Morgan, who calls herself the Crocodile of Wall Street, was actually making a name for herself on social media. She was an amateur rapper by the name Razzle Khan, a name she came up with that was supposed to be a reference to Genghis Khan.
Razzle Khan. Okay.
But, quote, with more pizzazz.
Well, that's
her music
true.
videos, TikToks, and rapping can only be described as fit for North Korean torture. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Kind of looks like it already. Do we want to even hear this?
Me, anesthesia, I can see big troublemaker, Mabel's kiss on me, crazy outlier, notoriety, real icebreaker, no one crude as me, not a peacemaker, bring the anarchy, big booty shaker, coming from the party, get no apology.
Oh, that truly was horrible. But admittedly, I will say this. Say what you will, yeah, it's horrible, everyone sees it, everyone hears it, sadly. But at least she's trying. People who at least try are usually way more successful than the people who don't try. So, you know, laugh all you want, she at least did something and got somewhere. Now she's probably in prison, but hey, that's a different story. No, actually, this is the exact same story, maybe even.
Goofy as her social media posts were, it seemed like she had a skill for social engineering. She gave a seminar in 2019 about how to socially engineer yourself into anything. Tips included, while at an event, pretend...
That is actually the fact that she knows that that's important, honestly, does put her above quite a big percent of the population. The fact that you understand that social engineering is even necessary to succeed, and, you know, faking it till you make it is an actual really good way of life, does mean that she is actually legitimately, as funny as that may sound after what we just saw here, that does make her, like, legitimately, like, very above the average person.
to use your phone to call a fake friend.
How to socialize engineer your way into anything.
While you're doing this, eavesdrop in on important names to gain entry into exclusive parties.
Badges, press for things to share, the SIGs, guns. Oh yeah, this is fucking amazing. This is a good tip. Professional cameras, DSLRs, no idea what that means. Notebook, money if you're really blah blah blah. Black shirt that looks very security. Oh, this is legitimately just getting into an event. Okay, without being invited. Yeah, that seems legit. The black shirt thing, I know that people actually have done this in concerts, and it works pretty well because people just think you're security sometimes. It happens. Or you can just bribe your way in, that's reasonable.
Other tips included, follow closely and listen and learn about your target. Name dropping was another hot tip.
Yep, that actually does work. If people think you're connected to other people, then they think you're big people. Even if you're not connected to those people, then you get connected to the people who don't know you're connected to anyone, and congratulations, you suddenly actually have a connection.
The seminar description says she used social engineering to navigate and infiltrate black markets and shadow economies in her previous career. Perhaps these skills
Social engineering is just honestly one of the biggest miracles of modern day psychology. There's a lot of things in psychology that are interesting, but correct social engineering with the right group of people can be absolutely one of the most amazingest things that you have ever seen in your life. For example, this is not gonna, well, this is kind of involved with business, but a very interesting thing is how scammers social engineer things in gaming. In games where you can find particularly wealthy people to just dupe them into that. They pretend to be their friends, and you know how actually the scamming happens? They slowly become your friend, and that can, by the way, happen in the, time span of like an hour, sometimes even. The fact is, someone extremely wealthy most likely likes it when they get called extremely wealthy, especially in a game or something, because they play that game to be good at something to be recognized. And if they have a lot of wealth, that means that that's their pretty much Trojan horse right there. If you talk about how great they are and so on, and how poor you are, you can legitimately easily put yourself in situations where that person just shows you their full money stack, and you say, hey, hit trade, and they literally trade you all the money. I know that sounds absurd, but those situations happen way more than you can honestly imagine. As long as you just, sugarcoat everything that person wants to hear and know what they want to hear, you can social engineer themselves to almost, self-deletion pretty easily. Psychology is absolutely amazing. So the fact that what she does, even if semi-correct, still works way better than the average thing is absolutely undeniable.
were helpful to gain a foothold into the inner workings of Bitfinex's security.
Like, I mean, seriously, if you don't even fully understand what you are doing with social engineering and psychology, you still can achieve great things as long as you are even semi right and not taking too many risks.
During her 20s, Heather would travel the world and learn multiple languages, including Japanese, Korean, Russian, Turkish, Arabic, and Cantonese.
Yeah, you see? I said the fact she's smart. She's way smarter than the average person. Because again, no usually people who are way smarter than everyone else, you can't find an idiot who knows 5 languages. It's pretty much impossible. It's almost impossible to find someone who is not above the average person in intelligence who knows 4 or 5 or 6 languages. Again, the fact that he just did social engineering somewhere along here kind of proves it. And this just proves it more. So she's actually a pretty goddamn smart cookie.
In 2014, she incorporated Salesfolk.
But again, I guess that's kind of visible, at least for me. Again, smart people, distinguished people, successful people are so easy to spot because they do things and they know things that, average people just don't. And she pretty much embodies a lot of the traits that you would see in someone who is way above average and actually smart. Again, that her spouse seems a little bit off because he seems literally nothing special. He seems like just a lapdog she maybe decided to wed and that called it a day.
A company that aims to help other firms improve their efficiency when it comes to sales pitches. It was later found that Salesfolk was involved in the money laundering scheme. Heather wrote 47 articles for Forbes as a, quote, Forbes woman, and this was between December 2017 and September 2021. According to Vice, who interviewed people who knew Heather, they were all shocked at the news. They called Heather a nice person, and they also said that she was very...
Yeah, obviously she's gonna seem a nice person. If she's talking about social engineering and she even knows what those words mean, that means that there's literally almost no one in the world who thinks she's a bad person, because she is hiding it. She will never let it slip that she's not a nice person. Every time she meets someone, she's gonna have a smile on her face, and she's gonna be happy to meet him, and that's gonna be her best part of the day, and everyone's gonna like her. That's just how it works.
very driven. Though on the
By
other
the way, not saying she's a sociopath or anything like that. It's just the fact that she is displaying all the characteristics of someone who understands how important these things are.
hand, the Department of Justice tells people not to be fooled. They state that Heather, quote, played an integral role in the money laundering and fraud scheme, end quote.
I can bet you if there was a trial, or if the trial, well, the trial's probably already long over, but that in the trial she tried to completely lie herself out of this situation until the last moment. Guaranteed. She probably tried to manipulate everyone to the last bit to pretend that she is absolutely innocent. Would have been probably pretty funny to see. Would have been probably pretty goddamn scary to see. Because she would probably have no regrets about that, because she knows what she needs to do.
They also say she had extensive knowledge and used a variety of cryptocurrency protocols to launder money. They state she was not an unwitting bystander. In 2019, the couple traveled to Ukraine to set up false identities and create fake passports. They established financial accounts in Russia and Ukraine, and appear to have been setting up a contingency
They should have asked Biden how to do that properly. He would have probably given good tips.
plan to leave the US and flee over east if things got too hot. Unfortunately for them, COVID put an end to those plans. Federal agents would remark that the Ukrainian activities look like something out of a spy novel. US law enforcement obtained a search warrant for Liechtenstein's digital wallet. They were able to seize $3.6 billion left in that wallet. They did this by managing to decrypt a file in his cloud storage account. The encrypted file on the cloud had 2,000 crypto wallet
That's the guy, by the way. That's the guy's name, not the girl.
addresses and their corresponding private keys. A pretty sloppy move. There's been no explanation of how exactly law enforcement decrypted the file, though through blockchain analysis, authorities could link those wallets directly to the original Bitfinex hack all those years ago. Other incriminating documents were found, dark websites that sold fake IDs and passports. The couple did use a VPN, but they used their real name, email, home address, and used the stolen Bitcoin to purchase it.
I mean, whoa, this is the most common thing that happens. Use a VPN, but buy the VPN with, oh my. How do you fuck up so bad? Also, VPNs aren't actually that secure. You need to find a VPN that literally that is based in a location where a VPN does not have to have a backup, and the government can't ask for it. And those are very few. As much I could be wrong on this because I'm not a computer guy like at all. I'm more like a finance guy and stuff. But as much as I understand about VPNs, that like pretty much 9 out of 10 VPNs are absolute garbage, because the moment the police want to do anything with those VPNs, they will just instantaneously say, yes, here officer, everything you wanted, and even a little bit on the top, because why not? Yeah, most VPNs will not protect you from a law. And that instantaneously means that they're kind of useless, because most people kind of, I think, use VPNs to, well, circumvent region restrictions, and to not be spied on the government. But the government can still spy on you even with a VPN, at least most VPNs.
The game was up, and in total, only about 4% of the Bitcoin was successfully laundered. The couple were arrested.
I think it's the guy who fucked up, by the way, because again, they speak about that woman a lot here, because the woman's fucking smart. The woman actually is is pretty extraordinary in some aspects. But the guy probably is just your random fucking Joe.
On Tuesday morning, February 8th, 2022, in New York. According to the Department of Justice, the two have been charged with conspiracy to commit money laundering, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison, and conspiracy to defraud the US, which brings a maximum sentence of 5 years.
Wait, what? Conspiracy? Oh, because they didn't know. Wait, taxes would probably get them 20 life sentences, not just 5 years. Huh, I wonder what that is about.
A Manhattan judge has set Liechtenstein's bail at $5 million and Heather Morgan's at $3 million.
Ah, woman. Always get the better end of the stick in the justice system. Again, I really doubt it's the guy, because then they would talk about the guy. Do you think the guy was just so secluded and was actually the whole brains of the operation, because the woman did the things, because that woman worked in the industry. She had insider access to things, and she wrote articles. The guy maybe wasn't even good with computers. They would probably mention at least something good about the guy, that he was smart or whatever. But nah, all they said that he was a lame recluse.
Some people have raised some doubts. Could this couple really pull off a $4.6 billion heist? Although the Department of Justice has not publicly linked them to the actual hacking of the cryptocurrency exchange, they were heavily implied to have done it. Since the stolen coins were recently directed to a wallet that they owned, and the money was not split up between anyone else, it's believed that they at least had a large involvement. With that being said,
Well, when you say it like that, they did say at the start of the video that they have gotten some of the money out through vouchers and, RunEscape memberships and shit. So, maybe, well, there's actually no point of just, sending the money to a random account like that, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't seem believable that they weren't the culprits here.
this does still leave the door open to the possibility that others may have been involved. Some of the online doubters cite a 2019 arrest of 2 Israeli brothers in relation to the hack, but no further information on legal proceedings have taken place since then. Others say that the married couple were just set up as patsies. It was a setup by the FBI or another government body, but we have no evidence for anything like that so far.
Well, FBI with their... Dude, the FBI has such a history. It wouldn't technically be surprising, but, usually you can find a reason why the FBI wants to, for example, do shipping of drugs from Mexico to the USA by boat to, make money. Then they at least want to make money, but this is like a little bit like sus.
So while there is some ambiguity here, looking at the charges brought by the Department of Justice, it seems that all the evidence points to the eccentric married couple. In the court proceedings,
Oh yeah, it seems like there's enough circumstantial evidence at the bare minimum to make this all work.
it was revealed that they had a bag labeled, quote, burner phones under their bed, and a computer folder labeled fake passport ideas.
Okay. The fact that they have something so obnoxious as that under the bed... Oh. Man, and they might as well... They might as well just, put a sign that says computer hackers or, criminals at their entrance to the house. Wow. That does seem sus. So, if that's the evidence, yeah, I understand why people are actually saying, yeah, maybe, just maybe they were set up, because that just seems stupid. Wait, is that a Bible? Or is this just... I think this is... No, this is not stock footage. Or is it? Hard to say, but yeah, this is where you would keep the passports, and that looks like a Bible something-esque.
So there you go. That's the story of how an eccentric married couple started a digital manhunt through the blockchain and cyberspace that lasted 6 years. The two suspects...
It's fucking insane that they could pull this off. Again, the average Bitcoin enthusiast will click on almost anything that says free Bitcoin or article says Bitcoin is great. Woo! Man. These people deserve to get their money taken, honestly. They 100%. Absolutely no regrets. Anyway, that's it. Bye!